The discovery of Titanic's treasures in the deep ocean. The lights from the small ROV submersible pierced through the absolute darkness at a depth of 3,800 meters below the surface. James Cameron and his exploration team had spent 3 years preparing for this journey, not just to document the Titanic wreck, but to explore the secrets still hidden within the legendary ship. It was 2001, more than 15 years after Robert Ballard first discovered the Titanic. Many expeditions had visited, but Cameron's trip had a special purpose. He wanted to explore the intact compartments where precious artifacts from the golden age of the early 20th century might still be preserved. As the ROV maneuvered through a large hole in the ship's hull, the control screen suddenly lit up with images that amazed the entire team. A relatively intact first-class cabin appeared before their eyes. The wooden furniture, though covered with algae and sea creatures, still maintained its shape. Then the light illuminated an open cabinet, inside of which sparkled things no one expected to see. "What are we looking at here?" Cameron's voice trembled over the radio link to the ROV. On the screen, crystal glasses remained intact in the cabinet. Next to them were pieces of jewelry, necklaces, earrings, an ivory comb inlaid with gold. The tremendous pressure of the ocean floor had preserved them better than anyone could have imagined. But the truly impressive discovery came when the exploration team approached what had been the ship's safe room. The fixed steel door had been blown off during the disaster, revealing inside a space filled with metal boxes and suitcases. Some boxes had burst open. Inside were gleaming gold coins, British sovereigns, American gold dollars, scattered across the sediment-covered floor. Cameron carefully controlled the ROV's robotic arm to lift a small box that was still locked tight. The box was made of brass, its surface covered with a green patina, but still solid. "Careful," he whispered, as if the box would shatter if not handled delicately. This was the moment every explorer dreams of, touching history, touching untold stories. Over the following days, the team explored many other areas. They found an expensive leather suitcase, inside of which were silk dresses belonging to upper-class women, miraculously preserved thanks to the airtight environment. A shattered violin, but with strings still attached, perhaps belonging to a musician from the legendary band that played until the very end. Champagne bottles, still sealed, lying scattered in the luggage compartment. But perhaps most moving were the personal items. Love letters, written on thick paper, kept in waterproof envelopes so they were still readable, telling of the hopes and dreams of passengers on their way to the new world. A small wallet containing family photos, smiling faces from a century ago. A gold wedding ring with engraved names, lying alone on the floor of a dark room. On the 6th day of the expedition, something extraordinary happened. The team decided to explore a previously unmapped section near the ship's grand staircase. As the ROV descended through what remained of the ornate entrance, its sonar detected an anomaly. A sealed compartment that had somehow remained intact despite the catastrophic sinking and decades of deterioration. "We've got something unusual here," called out Dr. Sarah Chen, the expedition's marine archaeologist. The density readings suggest metal objects, lots of them, in a concentrated area. Cameron redirected the ROV toward the readings, his heart pounding with anticipation. When the lights finally illuminated the space, the entire control room fell silent. They had discovered what appeared to be a private storage vault, likely belonging to one of the wealthiest passengers. The room's door had been torn away, but the interior had been protected by a collapsed section of the upper deck that created a protective cave-like structure. Inside, scattered across the silt-covered floor, lay an astonishing treasure trove. Gold bars, stamped with the hallmark of the Bank of England, were stacked in the corner, their surfaces dulled by time, but unmistakable in their value. Next to them, a collection of silver platters and candelabras, part of someone's family heirlooms being transported to their new life in America. The ROV's camera captured the intricate engravings still visible on their surfaces, telling stories of European nobility and old world wealth. But the most spectacular find was a mahogany jewelry box that had somehow remained sealed. When the ROV's mechanical arm gently opened it, the team gasped collectively. Inside lay a diamond tiara that sparkled even in the artificial light, its stones catching and refracting the beams into rainbow fragments. Beside it rested emerald brooches, ruby rings, and a stunning sapphire necklace that must have been worth a fortune, even in 1912.
Deep
"My God,"
the sea,
whispered
the ship
Cameron.
continued its sleep.
"This must have belonged to one of the
useless
millionaires
wealth.
on board. Perhaps John Jacob Astor or Benjamin Guggenheim." The team later theorized it could have been part of a collection being transported for sale or exhibition in New York.